we're going to talk about shelter-in-place kits. Now, a shelter-in-place kit is a kit that you have at your home for you and your entire family to be able to survive without leaving your home for 7 to 14 days. It's a very important and essential kit, and I think all of us are aware of how important it is to have these types of supplies because of our recent COVID crisis and the need for everybody to shelter in place in the entire county. In addition to a pandemic, other instances where you may be asked to shelter in place include social unrest or also in an earthquake. Many times in an earthquake, a lot of the roads become impassable, and the very best thing for you to do is just stay in your home and in and around your home until those types of facilities can be repaired and up and running again. And that again could be 7 days to 14 days. Now, we've talked in other videos about a go bag, and a go bag is certainly important, but a shelter-in-place kit is also essential. Now, a shelter-in-place kit includes all of the things a go bag includes. In addition to that, it's a much larger and more robust supply. You can include food and water for 7 to 14 days for every member of your family. You also need to have a robust first aid kit. You need a fire extinguisher. You need to be able to have a wrench to shut your gas off with as well. You need 1 or 2 changes of clothing. It's also important to consider seasonal variations. So while you might want to be sure to have a blanket available in the wintertime, in the summertime you also want to have some cool clothing in your shelter-in-place kit so that your family isn't sweltering out in the heat. And in addition to that, you also need to have any special things that you need for your family to be able to survive for that period of time. So if you have special needs members of your family, if you have life-saving medications, all of those types of things need to be thought about and added to your shelter-in-place kit. So where would you keep a shelter-in-place kit? Many people keep a shelter-in-place kit on shelves in a garage. Others keep them in a large 33-gallon trash can with a lid on it so they can keep it outside and it's protected from the elements. Still others who have more confined spaces utilize underbed boxes full of supplies and tuck those underneath their bed to keep them out of the way. The key here is you make sure you have enough supplies for you and your family for 7 to 14 days. Now, don't make a big deal of this. This is not going to cost you a lot of money. What I'd like you to think about doing is every time you go to the grocery store, buy a can or 2 extra of food. Buy 1 extra bottle of water. Just slowly build up your supply of food and water in your home. And then along the way, gather some of these other supplies as you can afford to do so. You don't need to do it all at once. Every step you take is a step closer for you and your family to be secure and safe should disaster strike. You need to be sure to replace the food and water in your shelter-in-place kit on a regular basis. A good tip is to do this twice a year. Every time you set your clocks backward and forward, take a look at those supplies and replace any that are getting close to their date. If you do this on time, then you never have to waste anything because that food and water you can bring into your kitchen and eat and replace it with new things when you can. All of these are different choices and you need to decide what will be best for you. The key here is 7 days minimum worth of food, water, and supplies for you and your family to all be able to survive comfortably without leaving your home.
My top tip for sheltering in place or being stuck at home and wanting to make sure that I have the emergency supplies that I need is we went and we purchased some of those blue barrels, 55-gallon blue barrels, and we have water that we are keeping in those barrels. And I'm really excited about that because I don't have to have all those individual drink bottles around, plastic bottles around.
I have added this weather band radio, which I did not have before. I just had a little transistor radio. So this is really great because alerts will come through on this.
When we go buy a bag of groceries, we buy 2 bags of groceries for our pets. So 2 bags of dog food, cat food. So you always want to have a full extra bag on hand in your home.
What we decided as a family is to kind of focus more on keeping our pantry as full as possible with a few items that don't necessarily need electricity and we could easily kind of prepare. So kind of having a conversation with the kids, in particular tuna and kind of canned chicken. And then we also kind of picked up some of these canned soup that doesn't need to be cooked or anything. It's already prepared and you can just eat it cold.
So here in my household, I have 2 parts to my emergency preparedness kit. One is an underbed kit, which sits there and I do not touch and I do not move, and I know it's there all the time. And then I also have a set of bins in my garage that have essential supplies. And the ones in the garage I've separated into what do I need if I'm actually going to shelter in place and try to survive in a incredibly challenging circumstance where I can't even drive out.